Can do.
And
Awesome.
we start. Hello everyone, as usual, Thursday live trading room together with Lachlan. Lachlan, good morning. How are you?
Fantastic, mate. It's very good. The markets are happy. The US economic figures, everybody's happy there. So may I suggest, I think we're in a good place. I think we're in a
Yeah,
good
we have
place.
been actually discussing with Lachlan before the beginning of the live stream that the numbers just came out of positive trade balance, minus 78, correct me Lachlan if I'm wrong, minus 78% in trade balance for US.
Yeah, 78, yeah, 70%, 78% drop in the US trade deficit, which means they're on track to have a positive trade, as in no trade deficit. They're on their track to have that probably by the end of this year. So they'll be the only major Western economy in the world that has a positive trade balance. It's massive.
That's absolutely massive news, and something very important is going on the market. It means that, as usual, Lachlan will guide you through these moves in the market and will tell you what to do with such news, right? The quick thing
Sounds
from
perfect.
my side is that we are currently still having Valentine's Day campaign. For all of the traders, you have an opportunity for minus 20% off on all accounts, CFDs, futures and stocks with the code CHARTLOVER. Share some love with others and be in this Valentine's Day together with the charts, the thing that we all love together. Lachlan, I'm gonna give the word to you. Before we start with the presentation, let's check if Zoom guys can hear and see everything well.
Zoom? Zoom, can you take them out of practice? They're in a practice session. They're building up, but they are perfect. now we're ready to go. That's awesome. That is awesome. Let me just move this chat around. Okie doke. That one. All right, I think we are good to rock. Okay, mate, I'll take it. I'll take it from here. Christian, thank you. Appreciate that.
Great. Lachlan, I wish you everything the best. And good luck.
I was going to say, hopefully today, guys, hopefully today we don't need luck. Hopefully we just do exactly what we've done over the last couple of days, which has been really, really good fun. So what can I check, ladies and gents, that the those people in the Zoom that you can hear me, and I'm sure you can see the chart, Steve. Perfect, right, fantastic, good. So guys, we're off and racing. Good morning, Danilo. How are you? Hope you. Keith, I was about to say exactly that. No, you're absolutely on the money. So perfect. So guys, let's run through our slides. So welcome everybody. Hope you're fantastic. Lockie here. Again, I'm going to take the session for you today. A big shout out, guys, if I can, to the Trading Pit, guys, for being absolutely phenomenal, guys, in assisting us in the journey to spread the word globally. As I do that, guys, I'm just going to open up a backup laptop, guys, so I can watch the Nasdaq traders as they bop along doing what they do. So guys, we'll get through it. Ultimately, we're running a live trading room today. Now, the beautiful thing about a live trading room is, again, my humble opinion. Mandy, how are you? My humble opinion is that a trading room offers us transparency of exactly what's going on in the market, guys, and ultimately how you can trade it really, really well. So, as I've been saying for a little while, trading is not easy, but it is simple, guys. Consistency is the absolute key to success. I did get asked a really good question today. That was a really good question. The question was, Lockie, if these traders are so good at trading, so guys, I'm interested in your opinion on this. If these traders are so good at trading, why do they need a live trading room? Now, interesting point. My response immediately back to that person was, generally speaking, if we hunt as a pack, we all make more money. And they're like, well, I don't get that. I don't understand. I said, well, if you've got, for example, today, 35 or 40 sets of eyes all on the same chart, basically looking for the same thing, if there's ever going to be a problem with a trade, as you're far better off to pick up that problem. You're far better off picking up that problem with 40 people watching the charts than you are just one. And the question was, well, Lockie, where did this idea come from? I said, well, it's not my idea. It's not my idea. But when I first started trading, trading was a very, very lonely, very cold. Again, I had no one to trade with. So the live trading room concept, as much as it wasn't born by me, what I decided to do when I first started learning to trade is, you guys remember when you used to go to a cafe, there's a piece of paper on the wall that says, pull the phone number off if you want to talk about this, or if you want to buy my caravan, or so on and so forth. I actually put a piece of paper up in our local fruit market, guys, in Coogee in Sydney, saying, if you're interested in talking about day trading, give me a call, guys. And all of the numbers got pulled off. And eventually we had this little coffee group in Coogee, guys, in Coogee in Sydney, Australia, where everybody would get together every week and say, hey, this is what I did this week, and this is how it went, and la, 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 la. And immediately we had that kind of feedback loop going. And then one of the guys in that group, who's a lovely, lovely, lovely guy, lives in St Ives in Sydney, actually said, why don't we all sit down together and why don't we trade together? I said, why don't we? And dare I say it, the live trading room, guys, in the form that I know it, the live trading room was born. Now, let me just, guys, I'm just going to join the NASDAQ trading room. Hold on one sec. Just going to join the other trading room in the background, making sure that they are good to go. They're good to go. Perfect. So we are off and racing. So, guys, why do we run a live trading room? Basically, because if you don't mind, I'll sum it up, guys. As a pack, if we hunt as a pack, we generally make more money. Guys, there's also a really, really positive psychology, guys, to trading well. As if you take a losing trade and there's more people that have taken exactly the same losing trade, if you do take a losing trade, but you're not the only one that took that losing trade, then it's not a personal experience. It's not a personal failing. So not only do you get to share the victories, but you get to share the losses. It has a very, very positive psychological effect, guys, if you realize, wow, hang on a second, I'm not the only person that made a mistake there, or I'm not the only person that took a negative trade. I just wanted to highlight, because it's a really, really, really good question. So moving on from that, compliance-wise, a number of things we do have to mention. First and foremost, because we are, I believe, live streaming on YouTube today, so very important we do this, because people in the strictest compliance regimes, guys, in the world, being actually Australia and New Zealand, guys, we'll run through this for the Aussies and the Kiwis. So first and foremost, we are trading futures today. Some are trading CFDs, guys. So the two risks when we're trading, there's a risk making and also losing money. Now, because we do trade on margin, we put a little bit of money every time we take a trade. What does that mean? Guys, that means that can be magnified. So we can actually do quite well, quite quickly out of trading. Guys, we've had a really good trading week so far this week. Nice. So today we're focusing again very, very heavily, guys, on static entries. Is basically what that means. We're going to wait for the candle to close, diagnose what that means, and if real ability trade, we're going to jump on it, guys, 100% as per the 1 course. Now, in terms of compliance as well, guys, everything we're doing today is general information only. Performance, guys, of any financial product is no longer allowed to be used as a reference for future performance. Market risk factors, guys, because we are trading over the internet. As much as the internet's a wonderful thing, sometimes the internet does add a variable into what we're doing. So I will guide you in and out of the market as best as I can, as per the 101 education course. Flip side is there's no guarantee you'll be able to get in exactly where I want you to get in and exactly where I want you to get out, but it is highly, highly likely you'll be able to copy what I do, as provided you've got a relatively good little internet connection. Okay, now who am I? For those that are not aware, guys, my name is Lockie. I'm the head coach and the head presenter at Samurai, guys, out of Singapore. I also wrote all the mathematics behind the strategies. My story, very quickly, I discovered futures trading on the 1st of August 2007. I didn't actually realize futures existed, and that's because I'd been corralled into the Forex and CFD game. So that was the 1st of August 2007. I immediately stopped trading CFDs and moved to futures. As because, again, of the market design of futures, there are no brokers in futures to trade against us. Let's fast forward 2 years to the 1st of August 2009. I started my first trading school. As I've been asked a number of times, why did you start a trading school? As we get back to that one point only, as I believe, well, certainly in my experience, I trade a lot better when I'm trading with other people versus trading by myself. Let's fast forward to today. Had a chance to train more than 2,500 traders in 22 countries. And as we are building Samurai to be the #1 trading school in Asia, that has always been my goal. That's always been my goal. If there are any questions at all, guys, I mean, it's old-fashioned. MJ, how are you? Very old-fashioned, guys. We do still use email. So info@samurai.daytrading.com. Guys, all of the socials are there, particularly if you're watching us for the first time. Guys, again, our YouTube channel, guys, we put a YouTube video up every day. This is what the opportunity was in the trading room. And guys, we always feature the static trades. Guys, at the end of every month, we do run a global hub meeting, which is basically a trader support meeting. So if you've got any questions at all about anything in trading, guys, please bring that to the last Thursday of the month. Guys, I'm just having a look down at the calendar as I talk to you. So our next hub is going to be on Thursday the 26th, guys, which is Thursday next week. Now, the beauty of that format, guys, it is going to be an AMA format. So please bring your questions along. As what will happen is there'll probably be 4 or 5 other people that don't even know they've got the question that you've got, and you ask the question and they go, oh, wow, I need to know this or I need to know that. So guys, that's what we're going to be focused on. So guys, we are working on the format change. So guys, today we're going to be focused on the FDAX. We now have a dedicated NASDAQ and S&P 500 trading room. Guys, that's the one I was turning on in the background before. Guys, the feedback we've got so far is the split trading room is resulting in people not only learn trading faster, but they're also picking up more accuracy when it comes to their trades. It also gives the moderators a lot less to do, which means the moderators can focus on their own trading. Naturally, I'm a moderator, guys, so I do want to focus. I do want to focus, guys, on executing my favorite trades. As the reason being, is the end of the day, these markets turn over hundreds of millions of dollars a day. It's really quite good fun. My 4 primary focuses, for those that are watching, guys, on YouTube, my 4 primary focuses are the red words on the left-hand side. CSA stands for candlestick analysis. I will be using the Delta algorithm, which is a proprietary algorithm we use to hunt institutional orders coming in and out of the market. As I'm a massive fan of ratios all the way down the bottom there, and everything we do is based on ABC and stair step. Everything we do. All right, let's jump into the charts. I will grab that PowerPoint presentation, drop it onto another screen, and in a perfect world, everybody should be able to see some charts. And our timings look pretty good. Diane, how are you? I hope you're fantastic. So as bottom left-hand corner, let's go down and we'll analyze the FESX, guys, because there's a couple of things we were talking about, guys, earlier in the week that have clearly started to really manifest, which is really good fun. So firstly, as on the weekly chart, this is a very, very strong, very strong week of trading for the Europeans. Now, you're probably saying, well, Lockie, Europe's not going that well. Why is Europe buying? Goes, Europe is buying off the back of the US, right? So as we mentioned as we came into the session, guys, the US, in the last sort of 8 or so months, the US has had a 78% drop, right? So a 78% drop in its negative trade balance, right? So the US has had a negative trade balance for a long time. That trade balance has now dropped by 78%. As what that means, within the next 4 to 5 months, the US may be one of the only major countries in the world that has a positive trade balance. Now, as much as that is not positive for Europe, there's a lot of negotiation going on at the moment about how the US can actually do more trade with Europe. And as we see it, guys, that is the highest that the FESX, which is the biggest European market, that's the highest they have ever been. Highest they've ever been. Now, with that said, guys, down to the 1440 chart, down to the daily chart, guys, this is where we were talking about, guys, on Monday. We actually said this is a static bar reversal long on the daily chart. Guys, I'll get rid of that little black line there for you. This is a static bar reversal long. If we punch through the top of that line, it's going to typically buy for 3 days. So what have we got? 1, 2, we've got one more day to go. Now, guys, not only did the indicator spot that, so you've got that little SBR indicator spotting it, because on Monday we were talking about double SBRs long. So static bar reversal, static bar reversal. What's occurred? Sellers own the stair step. Guys, the SBR is triggered long as a reversal trade, and look what it's done. It's flown to the high side. So we spoke about this, guys, on Monday. Today is ultimately Thursday, and we are expecting potentially one more buying day. Now, it doesn't have to be very strong. What I want to draw to your attention as well, right at the top here, can everybody see that we've run into the blue 133 fib extension? That is one of the favorite European numbers for Fibonacci. Probably one of the most important points, guys. We did raise this yesterday to say if these markets go nuts, they're probably going to go all the way to the 133 fib extension. Does anyone remember that from the LTR, the live trading room session yesterday? We spoke about the FESX going to that exact level. Well, guess what? Last night, it went to exactly where we would expect it to go. So what I want to draw your attention to, guys and girls, if I can, is the reversal was on the 1440 chart. So it went to a 1440 Fibonacci extension. Guys, there's no accident there. And I do think that's really exciting because it is not difficult. It is not difficult to predict where these markets are going to go. Right, so not difficult to predict where these markets are going to go. Now, with that said, guys, over to the 240. So over to the 240 chart. So this is our 4-hour chart. We're going to keep it. This is, guys. This is kind of the danger chart. As you guys, no doubt you're aware. This is the danger chart. MJ, we'll just wait and see. So that we're getting to the point, guys, where the market. This is the FESX. It doesn't know if it can go any higher. Right? So it doesn't know if it can go any higher. So we have a really, really lovely, 4-hour swing trigger long setting up here. Now, what that ultimately means for those watching the FESX, you're going to have to draw your Fibonacci down to catch them on the way back up. Guys, Fibonacci is always drawn left to right. In this case here, we always draw it down to catch them on the way up. Guys, if you're drawing your Fibonacci from right to left, guys, may I suggest your Fibonacci is upside down. And Fibonacci, guys, is not palindromic. Really important point. So the number 808 is palindromic. It reads backwards and forwards exactly the same. Just be super clear, guys, Fibonacci is not palindromic, and that the reciprocal numbers don't mean the same thing. That's a really important point. So Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up, guys. We're basically being caught at the 4-hour 61.8. If we drop down to the 60-minute chart, at the moment, 2-3 sellers own the stair step. Guys, if we got early buying, on the FESX and that early buying was to fail, we are looking at a really, really lovely short that is fueled, guys, by the failure of the market at the daily 133 extension yesterday that we spoke about 7 or 8 hours before it occurred. Just for reference, guys, that's the highest the FESX has ever been. That's the 2026 high. So there will be some people that are wanting to push it up and go into basically price discovery. There's also going to be other people that are going to turn around and say, wow, you guys got up there and you failed up there, so you're going to turn around and come back down. On the 15-minute chart, which is a really lovely reference chart, it's a really lovely reference chart for what we do. Double check. At the moment, the sellers own the stair step, so the 15-minute chart traders are looking for buying-based reversals. One double checking. So I would suggest, guys, for the FESX in particular, we're going to keep a really close eye on this 66 Fibonacci. No, what I would love for these guys to do is basically open, buy first, run up here to the stratosphere. So I'm suggesting today, this is the stratosphere. If we run up to here or here, if we run up to there, or even here, if we run up there first and we fail badly, we're looking at a really lovely kind of reversal coming back down the other way. All right, now, guys, with all that said, our notes on the FESX before we swap, guys, right here, 6117 is your 4-hour swing trigger long. Okay, so again, guys, if we buy up to these key levels and then we boost buying wise, that will be the 4-hour swing trigger. If they push up there and they fail at those key Fibonacci's, guys, that could be the 4-hour swing trigger failing. We're going to get a really nice sell down off the back of that. This level running through here, guys. This level running through here. I'll actually put a stronger line on that for us. Right, so I'm going to put this line on here. I'm going to make it a little bit fatter, guys, because it is a super important line. Right, so that makes it a little bit fatter. Guys, that is. I don't think I did that properly. Hold on one sec. I'm just trying to blacken this line out. All right, doesn't want to play the game. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, this one here is a very, very old but very important high point in the market. So what we're going to find today is they might want to try and pivot off this level. Now, what do I mean by pivot off the level? Basically, guys, if we basically push up and then come back down, we're probably going to bounce off it. If we push underneath it, turn around and come back, we're probably going to get stuck at this level. All right, so that level is also the gap. So I note that the FESX has already closed the gap. Just like yesterday, guys, that would generally indicate in session that we're going to get quite a violent session. There's no question. And all the way down the bottom, guys, if these guys do decide to sell and sell hard, guys, particularly if we buy first then come down, guys, 6092 down the bottom is a really, really lovely, mathematically perfect static bar reversal short on the 4-hour chart. So there is good reason, guys, there is good reason for these guys to absolutely tank from the stratosphere. Now, what I would suggest, it would be really awesome. My humble opinion, guys, it would be really awesome if they bought first. It'd be great if they bought first and then failed, but we've got no way of determining whether they're going to do that, guys. They'll just either they'll do whatever they want to do. Now the S&P 500 is actually turning. S&P is turning quite nicely. So for the S&P 500 traders, guys, if you are in the NASDAQ trading room, some of you might be in the NASDAQ trading room, guys, that sell on the S&P 500 is running really nicely, guys. That gives us a kind of a bit of a hint as to what the DAX traders might be thinking about doing. Now, with all that said, guys, let's break down the FDAX for us. So again, for those that are just joining us, guys, the United States trades deficit has been reduced by 78% in the last 8 months. Guys, what that means is the US is very, very quickly working towards a positive trade deficit for the first time in many, many, many years. Many years. Now, what does that mean, guys? The markets were really, really buoyant last night. I think we're going to peel away from that happiness a little bit today. And therefore, again, guys, I'm expecting a buy on open and then basically a failure. But again, please don't try and front run the open. We'll just see what happens when they pop up. Now, and speaking of that, guys, we've got 4 European news announcements starting at 6 p.m. Tokyo time. That is right in that area where we don't trade, guys. So that won't be a problem for us. We do have US high impact news at 10:30 p.m. Tokyo time tonight. So for those that are trading a little bit later on, please make sure you keep an eye on 10:30 p.m. Tokyo time tonight. Now, as again, 273. So for the FDAX traders here, this little Fibonacci, guys, this little label here, guys, 273 is a 4 hours short, guys, if they buy first. So what I'm hoping is we get a really, really nice early buying spike. I'd suggest at this stage that purple Fibonacci can come off for a moment. We'll put it back on. What I'm hoping for, guys, is a really, really lovely, really, really lovely spike up or a really heavy spike down, guys. So I note, again, let me tell you why. Can everybody see we're failing at this 60-minute chart extension? So beautiful failure. This is yesterday. So we're basically, the FDAX traders think they're on a 60-minute chart move. What does it mean? If the shoot down, guys, to the 233 Fibonacci extension just here and fail badly, what could happen is they might sell down first, fail badly, pick up this absolutely beautiful 60-minute low. All right, so let me just put a label on that for you. All right, that is a very key 60-minute low. That's going to be a red one, guys, because that is actually really quite important for us. That can drop down here. All right, so what we're wanting is we're going to see how they deal with this 60-minute low down the bottom. If they were to spike down, guys, get down around that 233 extension, this little static bar reversal hiding in here, guys, that little static bar reversal is absolutely mathematically stunning, right? Mathematically stunning. So do keep an eye on that one if you're an opening candle trader. So if they do sell down, guys, tag the 233 or even the 250 and come back through. We're going to get a really nice reversal long. As that reversal will run up here, potentially close the gap, and then we're going to run into this 4 hour short, right? So if they get above this black line, guys, if they get above that black line and hold above the black line in the cash market, so not quite now, but in the cash market, guys, if they get above and hold above, we've got to be really careful about selling against them. If they push up there and fail badly, we're going to try and turn it around and send it short for at least 15 minutes, please. All right, at least 15 minutes. Now, excuse me, larger charts very quickly, guys. So unlike the FESX that is pumping 2026 all-time highs, guys, the the DAX is not doing that, guys. So we've got this cluster of Fibonacci's just here, which are absolutely phenomenal. Guys, I'm going to drop you down to the daily chart. So dropping you down to the daily chart, this is where we've got all of these Fibonacci's, guys, from the daily chart and the 4 hour chart converging perfectly. The buyers were very strong. Then they lost power at exactly these Fibonacci's. Right? So what does it ultimately mean? Any kind of early buying pressure, guys, if we get any kind of buying pressure and they don't dominate with big, efficient CORPC bars, for those that are new, CORPC means close outside the range of the previous candle. If we don't get those massive dominant buying candles, we could, if the S&P is a great lead-in, which is selling quite nicely, we could get a really nice sell down today, guys, which would be good fun, right? So we've got to keep our eye out for swing triggers. Swing triggers and deltas, right? Swing triggers and deltas will be the name of the game today. Now, that said, dropping down to the 4 hour chart, we know about this 4 hours short. I think they're going to trigger the 4 hour short. So watch, guys, watch very closely on this one, because if they trigger the 4 hour short, which is marked on your chart for you, if they trigger the 4 hour short and then they can't carry on to the downside, that's going to be a failed 4 hours short. It could roll over and become a 4 hour swing trigger. And if that's the case, we're going to go to the stratosphere. Breezy, how are you? I hope you're amazing. 60-minute chart, guys, no great intelligence on the 60-minute chart. I was here before, other than the 60-minute fib drawn up to catch them on the way down is looking pretty good. And this is looking dangerously short. So there's my key Fibonacci levels. I think we're ready to rock and roll, personally, guys. So just doing double check. So, guys, as we roll into open, I'm just looking at my checklist here on my desk. So please make sure, guys, if you are trading, guys, today, make sure you've connected to the right account. Make sure you've got the right ATM loaded. Guys, that's our automated trade management. Make sure that you've got, guys, the right contract loading. Some people quite often do live market replay and then forget to change their ATMs as we come into the open and find out they're not trading with the right thing. Now, we're coming down to a very, very key 60-minute level. What I'm going to keep a very close eye on, guys, for the slightly more experienced traders, guys, keep an eye on this 15-minute chart static bar reversal down here. All right? If we were to cruise down and fail really badly at these 76 fibs, they're picking up this stunning, can you ever see that one rated SBR there on the blue fib? So that's basically 25200. All right, so let's see what they've got, guys. We've got 90 seconds until the gun goes. Today, what I'd ask everybody, please follow your trading plan. Guys, if you're relatively new to what we do, or you want to maintain a very high success rate, guys, then please trade statically. Please trade statically. Everybody knows what we mean by that. Look at this. So we've got extreme volume, guys, at that 233 fib extension off the 60-minute chart. And so these guys definitely think they're in a 60-minute chart trade. All right. Now, what that means is if we do get an early buy going back the other way, we're going to target the 100% extension off the 60-minute chart, which is all the way up here. So, guys, a target of around about 295 to the high side. Okay. So we'll wait for them to open. Guys, wait for them to open. 29 seconds until the gun goes. For the Fibonacci traders, I'm going to, if I've got a moment, I'm going to switch that large Fibonacci. Come on, 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 come on. You can see they're getting ready, guys. Oh, they're getting ready. Okay. There's the 133, guys, the 133 fib extension that I quite often look for on open. Okay, so again, charts, everything's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so at this stage, guys, if you're a 133 Fibonacci extension trader, they've basically sold immediately to your 133 and reversed. If you are long on this candle, guys, if you are long on the candle, if you are an opening candle trader, guys, that has already gone a very long way in your favor. It's a very long way in your favor. So if that is you, guys, if you are a slightly more advanced trader, guys, a massive well done. It's a massive well done. Look at this. Look at this go. So anybody long, guys, if you're long off the 133, this is clearly gone very well, right? There is no question about that at all. Okay, so if you're a 133 Fibonacci trader, wow. Guys, if you trade off the pre-bottom, also there's another wow. There's another wow there. This opening candle is amazing to trade, guys. Amazing to trade. So if you get that classic Fibonacci agreement like we got today, then wow, and phenomenal. Now at this stage, guys, buyers have just taken the stair step on the FDAX. If you don't trade, the opening candle at this point in time, please do not consider taking a trade. The FDAX is setting up a short, guys, for the opening candle traders under the open, guys, at 252. So we are setting up a short at 252. If we go a long way, guys, above the pre-top, we're also setting up a short under the pre-top. Now, at the moment, your volatility is low. So we're looking for a 5-point first target and risk control point. And then your second target would be anything you can get your hands on effectively. Okay. Now, that is, guys, again, we're expecting a shotgun start because the FESX has already closed its gap. No question about that. There is a really nice short, guys, for the opening candle traders setting up at 252. So if you are going to go short at 252, you've got a 5-point first target. You've got a 5-point first target, which will be 247. Okay, you've just gone through 247. Those of you if you are a opening candle FDAX trader, you've gone short at 252. As the market's already trading at 246, so it's already gone through your first target. You've already controlled your risk as you're looking to try and push it to a second longer range target. There's a second longer range target. The beauty of that second longer range target is you now have no risk on your trade, please. Right? No risk on your trade. So if anybody is short, guys, anybody is short on the FDAX under the pre-top or under the open was obviously a lot easier to get into. If you are short under the open, guys, a big well done, guys, because that has gone beyond your first target, beyond your risk control point. So therefore you have no risk on this trade at all. Andy, plus 20, well done. Keith, well done. That's great, mate. Well done. Okay, so we're off to a reasonable start. Opening candle, guys, if you get that 133 fib agreement, again, the FDAX is famous for it. We get it 2 or 3 times a week, and it's normally pretty good. Guys, it's normally pretty good. Okay, now for everybody else who doesn't trade the opening candle, if you don't trade the opening candle, at this point in time, guys, our climactic reversal will be short. So we are looking for an extreme volume reversal short. Now, what would be incredible, guys, is if the buyers on the next candle, if they were to close like they currently are, push up towards the open and fail, we are going to pick up the open reversal again. We do need to get well beyond, guys, we need to get well beyond the open before we look to sell under it, please, and don't sell. That's a really important point. We've got some new traders, guys, in the session with us tonight. Just put a little red notice up the top here, guys. We do not take new trades in the last 90 seconds of any candle. All right. So again, I'm going to leave that on the screen all day. We've got some brand new traders, guys. Got some brand new traders with us today. So just watch the last 90 seconds. That's really important stuff. Okay. So 6 seconds out. Let's have a quick look. Okay. What I'm looking for is the buyers to show into the market. I'm looking for the buyers to show into the market. And then we're looking for a sell. So I'm looking for the buyers to show into the market. And then we're looking for a sell down. Okay, so just let the buyers come in first. Now, what we're looking for is relatively tight ATMs and relatively tight targets. Okay, MJ's been skipped. Okay, that's all right. Okay, now at this stage, we do need the buyers to push up. Guys, if you're going to sell under the open as a climactic reversal, the buyers must push up well before your entry point before you look to take a trade. And what we need is for the buyers to fail badly and the sellers to absolutely hammer to the downside. Okay. Anybody short on the FDAX at this point in time, guys, as a climactic reversal. So anybody that is short, you're looking to try and hold it short as far as you possibly can. At the same time, we're being very, very responsible with our first target, guys, which is 5 points, please. All right, so your first target is 5 points. You're short under the open, guys, at 253. Your first target is 248. Your risk is controlled. Hopefully, MJ, you got picked up third time through. Guys, I got picked up. My ATM took me out at +5 on that exact trade. All right, so I'm currently sitting at about 115 US, 115 or 118 US positive at this stage across 6 accounts. Now, we'll just wait for the next trade to set up. Let's wait for the next trade. Looking at the FESX, guys, the FESX as a guiding principle says the short was really good fun. We've just got to try and push down through the 50 of the day. FESX just short trigger to 4-hour SBR. Geez, thank you. MJ, that's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So for the climactic reversal traders, what we did is we waited for the climactic candle to close. We waited for them to push above a known area like a pivot, and then we went short under the pivot and tried to push it down. Now, guys, I've only picked up 118 US times 6 again, so it looks like I got 1 point slip. But we're in the game, guys. We're in the game. Now, if the FESX pauses down here, guys, if the FESX does pause or does fail, this is why we do our little recon, right? If the FESX fails down here, we could be looking at a long-range reversal long right across the board. So again, while we're shorting, guys, while we don't know what the market quite yet, we'll know about the 15-minute mark. Please make sure, guys, first target 5, risk control point 5, or just a risk control point of 5, so you can't lose any money on the train, please. Breezy, you got 5 and 10. Well done, mate. Well done. That's a great trade. Okay, no trades in the last 90 seconds, please. Guys, I'm going to put it right there, and I'll tell you why this is really important. Guys, it's super important because if you missed that trade and then you're thinking, crap, I'll grab it when it runs through again, guys, if it runs through again in the last 90 seconds, we are not allowed to take that trade. Not allowed to take that trade. Really important. really important. I don't want to be a pain in the bum, guys, but we are not going to take new trades in the last 90 seconds. I don't want to sound too. Hey, Justin, how are you, mate? I hope you're fantastic. Um, yeah, we're not going to break that little golden rule, guys. That little chestnut. All right, we are getting ready to go long over here on the big ones. On the big ones, that Fibonacci has expired, so we can don't have to worry about that. Okay, FTAX traders, we're about to pick up a bias switch long. That's a very, very old school trade. Very old school trade. Now, again, they're going to run without me. So it is a bias switch long, guys. To trade a bias switch long, you must have a structured retrace and you must have a structured rejection. All right. Now, with all that said, 273 is a 4-hour short if they buy first. Hello. Hello. So what we've got is what we do have. We have a bias switch long with an entry point at 269 if you trade bias switches. So there is a bias switch long at 269. Guys, your first target is 274. Now, what we've got to be careful of, now some of you may or may not trade bias switches. Again, that's a slightly older fashioned signal. Now, technically, the bias switch has got to close outside the range of the candle. Right? So notice that we've closed inside the range. Right? So we've got to be a little bit careful with that one. We also must get a structured retrace and we must get a dynamic, like a really dynamic rejection. And the DAX has just done a technical close on its gap. Let me just watch what these guys are doing. Let me just watch. Now, guys, structured retrace, we're looking for a 38 or a 50. At this point in time, a 76, that is a very, very deep retrace. So if the buyers do come back from here, it is going to be very impressive and they're going to go a long way. If they can't come back from here, then we are probably going to be back in short territory again. All right, so at this stage, Fibonacci on 76 Fib, guys, that's a very, very deep retrace. Let me just watch the FESX here. Man, we did say if these guys buy first and we get to that 4-hour short, we want to be short. Look at these guys run. 100%. All right, swing triggers short on the swing trigger short on the 60-minute chart. Okay, at this stage, guys, I would just be a little bit careful. Just be a little bit careful. The reason they've gone way beyond a structured retrace, guys. They're way beyond. Note that a bias switch, guys, will normally have a CORPC bar. You'll stop filled at minus 14 points. Stop skipped. Did you take a long, Keith? Did you take a long as a bias switch trade? Because what I should have said is the bias switch candle must be a closing outside the range of the previous candle trade. So if you have had a loss, mate, we'll just go and get it back. Okay, we're just going to get it back. For those that are looking to go long, if you're looking to go long, again, we're approaching the last 90 seconds. What we're going to do is we're going to keep a very close eye over here on the FESX. A very close eye, because if they close below the previous pivot, we can't go long on the FTAX. Okay. Now we are at this stage, guys, sellers own the stair step, so we are looking for buying base reversals. We are in our last 90 seconds. What I should have said, Keith, is a bias switch must have a CORPC candle, mate. That's what I should have said. So again, if you've had a negative trade, then that's my fault. We will go and get it back again. Now at this stage, guys, the sellers are using a lot of volume. So the sellers are using a lot of volume. What does that mean? We may be setting up a Fibonacci-based reversal on the FTAX. Okay, so we might be setting up a Fibonacci-based reversal. At this stage, guys, we've come low enough to pick up the static bar reversal over here on the left-hand side. That's the one we spoke about earlier. So if you are a static bar reversal trader, guys, that is a really lovely trade. What I would suggest we do is wait to close, wait for proof that the FESX, wait for proof that the FESX is definitely failing at the previous pivot and that 4-hour short. And then we're looking for a long. The FDAX, your backup trade is going to be that black diamond delta on FDAX. So what we need, guys, we need the sellers to sell down first. So we want the sellers to sell down first. In a perfect world, we want the sellers to, don't you run without us, please. I'm looking for the sellers to sell down a little bit first, fail at Fibonacci, then we see this big boost of buying come through. Don't you do this to me, please, making me look silly today. So for the FESX, guys, we can't go short under any circumstances. Therefore, the FDAX is responding by clearly running long. Guys, there's no question about that. If you did take this delta, guys, obviously that's running very nicely in your favor. Guys, again, if you did take it, absolutely fantastic. If you didn't take it, guys, I didn't get the sell down I was looking for in order to trigger a bigger trade. Now, if you are a delta trader, guys, your volatility is now quite high. So if you are a delta trader, you can look for a 10-tick target with a 5-point risk control. If you're not in that delta already, guys, we have to wait for the sellers to come well below the delta, fail at Fibonacci, turn around and go back the other way. All right, so guys, if you're not in on the delta, guys, you haven't missed a trade. You have not missed a trade. Now, when that massive sell down, guys, came down here, I was looking to try and put you long over the pre-bottom, guys, with a backup of these Fibonacci's. And again, I could have probably entered you a little bit more aggressively, but the market was tumbling. It was tumbling, which means that this level here that we identified in our pre-market, that level there is critically important. There's no doubt. Now, what have we got here? If you are long, guys, have I got anybody long off the pre-bottom or anybody long off the static bar reversal we spoke about when we came into the session? If you are long on those, yeah, okay, well done, Nathan. If you are long on those, guys, you're going to try and hold them long all the way through to, I would suggest, mate, this 4-hour 100% extension up here. That was the 60-minute extension, guys. I changed the color. So if we can hold all the way long to there, mate, absolutely fantastic. You've already gone through your first, second, and third targets. So therefore, this is money for jam now, mate. Okay, mate. Okay. All right, so let's just see what we've got here, guys. See what we've got. Cody, you got all contracts out. Wow, mate. Well done. That's that is awesome, mate. Okay, that's Cody. That's a huge trade, mate. Well done to you. That's fantastic. Okay, now there's lots of people, guys, in the other trading room saying my KPI is done for the day. This is awesome. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to drop a note in their room while we're waiting for this. I'll just drop a note in their room while we're waiting for our market to decide what it wants to do. So sellers own the stair step on the FDAX. We're looking for buying base reversals. We are in the last 90 seconds. So we're just monitor thinking. That was a really incredible rejection down the bottom here. That was incredible. I should have been watching a little bit more aggressively. I would have sent you guys long over this Fibonacci here, the 88.6. You guys can see that. Happens to correspond perfectly with that static bar reversal. If I was a little bit more aggressive, I literally thought the markets were going to tumble. I thought they were going to absolutely tumble. At this stage, guys, buyers are very, very strong or relatively strong on the FESX. They had the chance to be dynamite strong and they haven't achieved it just yet. All right, so they had the chance to be dynamite strong. Excuse me. All right, now what have we got here? Okay, so we want to be long, guys. Want to be long. Now, how are we going to do? Excuse me. How are we going to do it? The only we can be long, guys. The only way we can be long carefully. The only way we can be long carefully is if the sellers were to sell down, give us a lower low, fail at Fibonacci, then we pick up that buying delta long over the top of the previous pivot. Now, please don't, guys, please don't put your buy order on that delta now on FDAX because we may end up catching a falling knife. All right. So what we need is we need the sellers to sell down, get down here, guys, get down here, fail badly. If they were to get down here and fail badly, some of you would be eyeing off this static bar reversal over here on the left. All right. So please don't enter that delta long until we get well below the delta. Right? So that'll be a limit order. Let me just see what these guys are doing. Okay. Alrighty, let's see what these guys have got for us. Okay. Watching. So what we're looking for, guys, got really good time. What we're looking for is the sellers. Ideally, guys, it would be amazing if the sellers could sell down and get stuck here, guys, at the bottom of the arrow. So I'm looking for the sellers to try very, very hard. Guys, now the alternative would be the sellers sell down, tag the 76 fib, then you would put your delta entry on. Guys, I'm being very careful here because the FESX doesn't really know what it's doing yet. Let's keep an eye on the FESX. Okay, here we go here. Let's have a look. Okay. So that black diamond delta, guys, is tradable. Right? The black diamond delta is tradable. As we approach the last 90 seconds, as if you are going to enter the delta at 247, as it is tradable. If you're going to enter at 247, as your first target is 252. Your first target is 252. Now, again, we are heading right into that little 90 second bit. Nice. So again, if you took the trade and you were before the last 90 seconds, that's fine. Please don't enter the trade now. Please don't enter the trade now. What we're looking for is a push through to 252, please, FDAX. Right, you guys are on 252 now. So anybody that waited for the sell to the 76 fibs, if you waited for the sell down to the 76 fibs, then you went long on the delta at 47, guys. Your first target is 252. It's gone to 252 and sat there for a little while. FESX, just keep an eye on that as we come into the last minute or so. If you weren't filled at 252, I'd suggest the FDAX will have another crack at 252. All right, I suggest I have another crack at 252. And right now, guys, we're just going to watch the volume. We're going to watch the volatility. because if they can't determine what they're going to do, we are just going to be careful about trading as here. Right now, the reason being is currently we are caught inside the range of the opening candle. Right, so that's the bottom. That's the bottom of the opening candle. That's the top of the opening candle, and we're currently stuck inside that range. Right, so we just got to be careful. And you've got some pretty heavy European news coming out at 6 p.m. So we do have some pretty heavy news coming out. That doesn't mean, guys, it doesn't mean we can't trade. If the volume drops much around the 200 mark, then we're just going to have to park ourselves for a little bit. Ultimately, they're waiting for the news. Now, I do know, guys, I've got Delta traders that are still long. So some of you are still long at 247. So don't forget, guys, your first target is 252. Right, first target is 252, which is right there. Right, so if you are long, guys, you've obviously gone through your 252 target. You've gone through your 252 target. Now we're waiting effectively, guys and girls, for a brand new trade. Right, waiting for a brand new trade. Okay, I'm just, guys, I'll go through this drill about 15 times a day, where I will click on my chart trader panel and cancel all orders, flatten everything in case I've got something going out off in the stratosphere. Yeah, just in case I've got that going on. So, guys, if you do want to, if you're trading, guys, if you're out there trading multiple contracts, then it's a good idea, guys. If you've placed orders into the market, you just clear your order panel. Make sure you've got no orders sitting. So, guys, today, just to be super transparent, I'm only sitting at $700 profit. Right, just to be super transparent. I took the first trade that we called. I got ATMs. I don't mind getting ATM, guys. That's my automated risk control. There's a couple of traders that have done at least 30 points today positive on the FDAX, at least 30 points, which is 1,200 US. So if that is you, well done. And there's some of you that are waiting for a trade. So a little bit of a mixed bag. That's a bit of a mixed bag today. Technically, what have we got? Again, the climactic reversal. So, guys, I'll put circles on. Climactic reversal is the trade that I picked up. I was underneath the open there. That was the first trade we got. Then some of you picked up this pre-bottom reversal using that static bar reversal over there as a reference point. I know Nathan probably got in all the way down the bottom of the jar there. We only spoke about the static bar reversal, guys. We didn't talk about a pre-bottom reversal, so I'm only going to mark the static bar reversal. All right, so no more entries, guys. No more entries, please. Well, no more entries for 2 minutes. Please keep an eye on the FESX. Guys, if we close below the previous pivot, guys, with a nice efficient CORPC bar, guys, so nice efficient candle. Let's do some quick homework. Okay, that Fibonacci can go, guys, at this stage. We are looking at a potentially, guys, slightly larger fall. Right, so it's all about this previous pivot here for the FESX. What are we doing here? Yeah, I think we're getting ready to sell. Let me just check the 60-minute fib. Yeah, that can snap on there quite nicely. So what the FESX has done today, guys, in the pre-market, it's bought up, failed at this series of static bar reversals here, particularly that orange one, and now they're just falling away. So it's all about that previous pivot close. So let's just keep an eye on what they're doing. So again, they're being nicely held up at the previous pivot. They did have a chance to close below it. So what we're going to look for is ultimately we're going to look for a close below the previous pivot or a gap below the previous pivot. All right, so we're going to keep a super close eye on that one. For the FDAX traders, what we're going to do, I'm going to get rid of that larger Fibonacci for a moment. Get rid of that Fibonacci. That's better. So what we're looking for at this stage is we are looking for proof positive from the FESX first. So we are looking for longs, guys. We are looking for longs on the FDAX. Right, we're looking for longs that we are allowed to trade. Now, what I was looking for is I was looking for a close above the previous pivot, a really nice sell down, then a really violent rejection in order to get the delta long again is what I was looking for. I've got a beautiful static bar reversal, guys, on the FESX after repeated attempts to get below the previous pivot. So what I'm going to do for the DAX traders is let's wait for the sellers to push down, get down around this Fibonacci here. We're looking for them to push below the Fibonacci, come back through, and we're going to try and pick up that static bar reversal. Let's just see what they do. Let's just see what they do. Yeah, MJ, if they stay stuck, if the FDAX is stuck, they're waiting for guidance from the FESX as to what it wants to do. So if the FESX is going to buy, we're looking for, I know it's old school, guys, we're looking for a CORPC candle. MJ, at the moment, the sellers still own the step. So we're looking for buying base reversals. Guys, we're going to get a really profound, awesome reversal on the FDAX once the FESX says we are definitely reversing here, which will be a 4-point turning bar. If we get a 4-point turning bar on the FESX in 3 minutes, guys, then we're looking for a long. In the interim, what might occur is we may get a sell down. We may get a sell down on the FDAX. If we were to get a really good sell down on the FDAX, really sort of deep sell down, and then they get heavily rejected like they did last time, we're looking to pick up that static bar reversal. Now, what I don't want you doing, please, guys, don't put a buy order here. So don't put a buy order with the intent of catching them on the way down because it could be catching a falling knife. You got to be very, very careful about that, guys. We need the sellers to go well below our entry point, which is 234, well below the entry point before we look to buy. Okay, so please don't put an order on 234 at this point. Okay, just want you to be very careful. Now, the FESX, guys, is trying to generate a swing trigger short. So, again, all eyes are going to be over here. They are literally within a whisker of closing, guys, this 4-hour short. If they close the 4-hour short and they shut below the previous pivot, we can't go long on the FDAX. Guys, we're not allowed to. So let's just watch what they do. I know it seems like we're doing a lot of rules today, guys, but it's days like today where they're chopping around a bit. You can actually get chopped up pretty heavily if you start just pushing the button because you think you're going to try and second guess what they're doing. All right, these guys look a little bit cranky. All right, so let's just double check. That previous pivot close, guys, this is really important today. That's why we trade these in context. Last 90 seconds, I should have a little beep, little warning on my computer. I might talk to Tim. Guys, about a little audio file that goes boom, boom, last 90 seconds, just so you don't, guys, if you're really heavily focused on a Fibonacci, you don't make the mistake of going, oh, boom, there's my trade, and then you look at the timer and go, okay, we've got a problem. Now, at this stage, guys, again, we are hunting for, right, last 90 seconds. No, mate. No. Just a little beep, just to remind everybody. That's our trade, guys, but we can't go long in the last 90 seconds. and we're not going to go long if the FESX goes down like this. As if anything, we're gearing up for a short. So if the FDAX closes under the pre-bottom, right? So if we close under the pre-bottom, which is just here, if we close under the pre-bottom, and if we close under the lower OSR, then we're setting up for big shorts, as big shorts. All right, this is still going to be an efficient candle, even though they're blowing volume. Shorts. So at this stage, we can only go short. We can't go long. Now we do have the lower OSR here. We've also got the 100 daily extension. Yesterday they failed at the 133 daily extension. This is a very, very, very interesting spot for these guys to fail. So I would suggest at this stage, guys, there's only shorts on, but the risk is probably too much for the majority of traders. The only way you can go short, guys, is outside the range of the candle. Now, again, I would personally be looking for the buyers to push in, fail at a known area, then turn around and come back down again, as opposed to entering a trade that's way beyond our risk profile. We've got to be a little bit careful about that. A little bit careful. Volume is still good. Volume is still good. Let me just try something here. Duplicate in a new window. Okay, just hold on 1 second. Don't know what you did, but your sound got just cleared up a lot. It had noise. Okay, it had noise in the background, but it's cleared up. Okay, okay. Now at this stage, the FDAX, as the FDAX is setting up a 4-point turning bar reversal long. It's going to go just beyond the caveat of a 4-point turning bar. As this is going to be a pivot-based reversal. Right, this is going to be a pivot-based reversal for the FDAX traders. We are motoring into the last 15 minutes, guys. A pivot-based reversal is the only trade we're allowed to take in the last 15 minutes. So what we're looking for, guys, is the candle to close above the pre-bottom, not gap below the pre-bottom. So we are looking for that's not fair. So at this stage, we've got reversal candles on the FDAX. May I suggest, guys, this candle had an opportunity to close back inside our black line and it failed. It failed to close back inside the black line. So again, the only trade we can get, guys, and I don't want them to run without us, the only trade I can get is if the sellers come back down, if they come back down here and we pick up a lower OSR reversal long, which is this little red static bar reversal there. Now, again, that's a static bar reversal long straight into the pre-bottom, which is not an ideal trade. I'd suggest what an ideal trade would be is we let the sellers sell down. Basically, a Toby reversal down the bottom here would be brilliant. Breezy, you got a 5, a 10, and a 40. A 5, a 10, and a 40. And you took the delta underneath the previous pivot. Mate, that is a magic trade. Right? So, well, that's huge, mate. Well done. Now, I didn't get that trade. Because at that point in time, my sellers owned the stair step. So I didn't get that trade. Yeah, perfect, mate. Yeah, no, that's a huge trade, right? So well done. All right, well done. Now at this stage, guys, the S&P is absolutely tanking. So the S&P is tanking. FESX, guys, got a 4-point turning bar long on the FESX, but note that the buyers were unable to engage. So that means the FDAX is probably going to sell down a little bit further. We are in the last 15 minutes, guys, and what we were looking for is a big green candle closing over the pre-bottom and over the black line. We didn't close over the black line. Craig. So Breezy, your comment is showing in the Zoom. Your comment is showing in the Zoom live trading room. Yes, the Zoom live trading room. Okay, thank you. Perfect. Right, so guys, VMix needed a little bit of a push, but we're now back again. So I'd suggest at this stage, guys, we're looking for, we're looking for for the DAX traders, guys, we're looking for the turn of the hour trade. It would be incredible to get a second tier reversal long. Would it be incredible to get a second tier reversal long? Again, the flip side of that, the 15-minute chart traders can't go short. So we're looking for longs, and we're looking for big longs. Those big longs. We're going to need permission from the FESX. At the moment, these guys are dead set on selling. So we're going to see, guys, we're going to have to watch for this selling to fail on the turn of the hour. Right, we're going to have to watch for the... So now, the X is trying to go it alone, guys. Trying to go it alone. Daxy, come on. If the DAX, guys, I'm not joking, if the DAX had have closed 2 points higher, then we would literally cruise down, get underneath the lower OSR, go long over the top of the lower OSR, because we know the buyers are holding over the top of the pre-bottom. At this point in time, If this little candle, guys, would be a little bit bigger, if they close over the big black line I drew on the chart before, which is the low point that we bounced off a number of times before, you guys know where that comes from. If we were to get above that black line with a tiny little low ratio candle, then on the next candle, the sellers run down, fail badly, and then come back through, we would trade that as a ratio-based static bar reversal long. Let's trade it as a ratio-based SBR long. Okay. Now, at this stage, what have we got? 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes to the hour turns. The FESX is very determined to sell down. Guys, the FDAX is trying to fight against the FESX. The FDAX normally doesn't win that. There's no question about that at all. Right, so guys, any questions at all about anything that we're doing? Any questions at all about anything that we're doing so far? I've got lots of news. I've got a lot of news coming through, guys, including Kim Jong-un has just decided to take a large missile launcher for a test drive in front of a crowd of very happy onlookers. That has just come through the news alert. So he's driving the truck. He's not firing the missile. Yeah, geez, the US markets are selling off pretty hard. There is no question about that. So that reversal we originally spoke about, guys, on the S&P 500, that reversal has resulted in a very heavy sell down. So the S&P, dare I say, it looks a lot like the S&P looks a lot like the FESX. Okay, now let me just. Okay, so we are waiting, guys, in a perfect world, guys, in a perfect world. What have we got? Around about 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes. The sellers will sell down, push down here, create a lower low, turn back down, come back the other way. They're probably going to do that potentially on the turn of the hour. I was understanding the turn of the hour can be 10 to 15 minutes into the hour if they are going to turn. Now, I am very, very glad. I was very glad we don't trade deltas, assuming closes over pivots. All right, so see that candle closed over, then they gapped under, then they made the delta. Right, this assuming a close over a pivot. I'm very glad we didn't do that. Very strong selling candles. All right, so now we wait, guys. If there's any questions at all, please give me a yell. After I said the US markets were very positive. The S&P 500 is completely tanking. Wow, the NASDAQ, guys, NASDAQ and S&P are bolting to the downside. All right, so I think for us, guys, on the European front, we're looking for the FESX to fail at a very, very well-known area. Guys, if the FESX was to get back inside this orange Fibonacci, that orange Fibonacci is the highest point they traded to right back here. It was right back here. That is a really, really dominant high point. If they get back underneath, that orange Fibonacci just there, then these markets collapse, like literally collapse. Greg, you're short on the S&P 500. Yeah, you should be short, mate. We were talking about. Mate, when the session was starting, we were talking about the sellers setting up. Mate, these guys could go a very long way to the downside. So, Greg, if you are short, as in not short by stature, mate, but short on the S&P, you'd want to try and hold that trade. Let me have a look for you. Okay. At this stage, what have we got here? Again, a really key Fibonacci for this move on S&P runs from there. So the key would be again, if this candle closes below the gap and below the 50 fib, if they close below that, that Fibonacci is slightly in the wrong spot. No, it's not. Sorry, no, it's not. If they close below that, then we are going to see some buying coming back on the turn of the hour. So let me just put that S&P, guys, back where it came from. It is, guys, it's a reference chart that I look at in the background. So I just watch what they're doing to make sure that we're not making a mistake. Please, FDAX, you've just given us a lower low. The FDAX, guys, is setting up a lower OSR reversal right now as we talk about it. That is just not fair. The only trade we're allowed to take, guys, the only trade we're allowed to take in the last 15 minutes is a pivot-based reversal. These guys are screaming about generating that reversal for us. And Greg, if you're short on the S&P, yeah, Caleb, spot on. If you're short on the S&P, then draw that Fibonacci up. If we close below that 50 fib and the gap, so basically, mate, if we close below the gap on the S&P, it's going to go a lot further. If we don't, we might see the buyers peel back in a little bit. Now, for the European traders, guys, we've got 4 minutes until we're allowed to take a trade. We've got 4 minutes until we're allowed to take a trade. And what we're definitely looking for, guys, on the hourly turn, right? So we've set up a bank of trades here. What would be incredible is if the sellers sell down. What would be incredible if the sellers sell down on the FDAX, fail at the 76 fibs. So those invested by MJ, guys, really, really good Fibonacci position. You can see these guys are honoring the 78.6 perfectly. So what does it ultimately mean? If we got a sell down, so if the candle was to close like that, like literally like that in 3 minutes and 38 seconds, inside the OSR, we then get a sell down, we are going to pick up an OSR level reversal going back the other way, right? If they close under the OSR, guys, we can't reverse off it, and we're going to have to wait for another level, which for the FDAX is the S1. That's an incredible, incredible trade. Okay. Now, the flip side, guys, the flip side is, again, the market doesn't have to turn, right? They don't have to turn. If we were to get an efficient, guys, if we were to get an efficient candle on the, both the FESX, guys, and also the FESX and also the FDAX, if we were to get that, okay, let me just add the OSR, guys, to the FESX over here. If we do get that, guys, it'll be the first efficient close outside the OSR. That is a hint that these guys are going to absolutely tank. That's absolutely tank. Let me just go and add the OSR indicator onto the FESX. Perfect. Okay, I'm just modifying, guys, just modifying that indicator. I think we're going to get absolutely tanked here, guys. And again, that's all right. We'll just let them come to us. Just let them come to us. Okay, so let me put that little FESX back where it belongs. Okay. So we've had to be very, very, guys, very, very careful today. We've got a lot less trades than what we would normally get. There's a lot less trades. But today we have not got the FESX agreement we normally get. Okay, so it's making the day a little bit difficult. So at this stage, what are we going to get? Is at this stage we're going to get the first efficient candle closing outside the lower OSR. This is right in time for the turn of the hour. So at this point in time, the trade that is setting up, is a short as opposed to a long. Now, again, if you're going to trade the short, if you are going to trade the short, we've got the FESX loading a swing trigger to the downside as well. You would need to wait for the candle to close. You would then need for the buyers to push up, fail at Fibonacci on the actual candle itself, and then the sellers absolutely swamp them. And that little push up, right? That is the buyers showing. So if you can hold the risk, as it is a valid short on the FDAX, the risk is, as if you're behind the candle, the risk is too much for most traders, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So around about 30 points, guys. So that is over my risk profile, guys, of 20. I don't go over 25. With the retrace, guys, if the retrace comes back to the 38.2, if they come back to 38.2 Fibonacci, and then they get absolutely slammed, guys, then you've got a really lovely structured retrace. At the moment, we need to see the buyers push up and get absolutely drilled. Okay, now I do believe with relatively strong candles, relatively strong candle on the FESX, obviously a very strong candle on the FDAX. These guys have got a chance of going down further. However, the risk for those that trade outside the range of the candle, the risk is too much. The risk is too much. So now we are waiting for, let me have a look here. I am missing a Fibonacci level over here. Just let me, hang on. Let me go and work on this one, guys, in the background. Hold on one sec. This one. Okay, that's better. All right, so we know that the Europeans love round number Fibonacci's. Guys. They love round number fibs. Okay. All right, so there's that 150. That's what I was looking for, guys, is the 150. Where are they? Perfect. So at this stage, guys, those people that can hold significant risk, you've just retraced to the 50 fib of the turning candle, meaning that if you can hold around 20 points worth of risk, you are now permitted to go short, guys, not before, because you've had the retrace and the rejection. It's still 20 points, guys. It's still 20 points worth of risk. And what you're looking for is you're looking for the swing trigger short on the FESX to trigger. Guys, now if you are short, guys, you're looking to basically move the FDAX down to the next pivot, which is all the way down here to the S1, guys, all the way down there. Understanding, guys, the FDAX loves round number Fibonacci's, but the FESX has got a swing trigger short. Now, what does that all mean? If you were to short the FDAX, guys, at 79, so if you were to short at 79, then your first target or risk control point is 74, and it's already gone through that risk control point and struggled to explode to the downside. Now, that may have something to do with the 150 round and also the fact that the FESX at the moment is trying to get down to this swing trigger point. Greg, you got 8 times 30 and 56 times 20 on the S&P short. Holy moly. So you got 8 times 30 and 56 times 20. That is a massive trade. That is a massive trade. And again, mate, only when we came into the session, I was talking about if you're going to go short on the S&P 500, there's a really lovely short setting up. So well done, mate. That's huge. We don't even need to do the maths on that. That is a massive trade. That's a massive trade, mate. So well done. Well done. Now, for everybody else, for all of us little traders, for us little traders, We are waiting for a trade that we are allowed to take. Now, again, the FDAX is, guys, watching very closely to see if they can trigger very closely. FESX has got a classic swing trigger here. If they can trigger the trigger, guys, these guys are going to go to the next pivot, which is all the way down here at the S1. I mean, that is enormous. It's all the way down here. If they can't, guys, we might pick up a reversal going back the other way. We don't know yet. At this stage, the sells are asking for typically too much risk for most traders to take. So now we wait. Paula, you've done 6, mate, for the FDAX. Well done, mate. I've done I've done 5 points, mate. I've done 5 points less brokerage. 5 points less brokerage. So you're beating me, mate, at this point in time. Today, guys, if you're looking at today has been a very difficult day to trade. So some days we just get issued a day like this. So all it means is we've just got to be very careful. Mind you, guys, some of the traders did pick up this reversal here. Some traders picked up that reversal there. Some traders have done 25 or 30 points. So it's relative, guys. It's relative. Obviously, we had the buyer switch, guys, at the top where I was too slow to say the candle must close outside the range of the previous candle. So again, that's my fault, guys. Negative on that. Again, the signal, guys. So the static signals like the buyer switch, the ABC reversal, MDI continuation, they must all be CORPC candles. So again, very good lesson learned today. And then we will make sure that we remind everybody every day, got to be a CORPC bar. Right now, at this stage, the FESX has effectively tried to activate a swing trigger and then gapped back inside the trigger, which means the sellers are not ready to stampede to the downside just yet. I know, guys, it's very tempting when you see the candle bouncing up and down. It's very tempting to just push the button and say, oh, I'm going to catch the bottom of the market. Guys, well done, Paulie. Nice work. If we are going to catch the bottom of the market, guys, we're looking for agreement from the FESX and the FDAX at the same time. That Fibonacci can go. We don't need that on. What we are going to look for now is just going to move it up. The 50 fib of the micro trend, which will be a potential pressure point if these guys do want to try and buy the market. Now, let me just watch this here. Okay, we'll just let them come to us. Let's just let them come to us. See what they're see what they're doing. All right, we are 7 or 8 minutes. What have we got? 8 minutes into the potential turn, guys. The potential turn. Now, we did say that the turn in the market could come, guys, at the 10 past or 15 minute past mark. Excuse me. All right, so all right, just watching. The sound hasn't gone, so sorry, just watching. Selling looks like it stopped on the American markets. Oh, it's the NASDAQ. Just looking at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is very volatile today. Very volatile. As I do think the S&P 500 is a lot easier to trade, in my personal opinion. I think it always has been a lot easier to trade. It just moves in a nicer way if I wanted to trade one. Geez, there's a lot going on, mate, and I have a sneaking suspicion the US is about to have a crack at Iran, and they're going to try and remove the politicians that are associated with people they don't like, and I do think that is going to shake the markets. And so therefore, I don't think they're going to do it until the weekend. Otherwise, the markets will go absolutely nuts. So as we're getting a very, very strong buying candle as on the FESX, right, very strong buy candle. Now, again, for the FDAX traders, we have a low ratio static bar reversal long. Right? So the ratio is okay. It's an entry point of 196, or an entry point of 196. And what we're looking to do is, if you are a ratio-based trader, we're looking to go long at 196. Our first target and risk control point is 201. Right, so first is 201, so just let this roll through. Now, at this stage, we've got turning candles setting up on both markets simultaneously. All right, now what we want is what we're going to have to wait for is maybe 4 minutes for these buyers to really decide they're going to have a crack at this. And so very, very strong. It's probably one of the strongest buying candles on the FESX today, certainly in the turn. If you are long, guys, if you are long at 196, right, your first target is 201. So if you are long at 196, guys, your first target is 201. Please do make sure you don't have any risk on your long range targets, guys, in case the sellers decide to have another little bit of a sell down before we get a really, really strong Toby style reversal going up. So if you are long, and again, guys, if you have put an order on at 196 and your order got skipped, please don't leave the order there. All right. So if you've already gone through your first target and risk control point, don't leave the order on the market. Best thing to do is take the order off, wait for the sellers to sell below your order entry point, and then look for a long. So, mate, if you're getting Keith, well done. If you're getting that kind of slippage, then we'd have to watch the volume in the bottom left-hand corner down here, because if the volume gets much lower, as we might start to get slip in the market. All right, so some good little profit coming through there. It is, guys, effectively it's a ratio-based static bar reversal. Again, it is there. I would prefer a better drop in ratio. There is no doubt. I prefer better drops. Right now, guys, we're probably only going to get a 5-point target out of it, maybe a little bit more. So Keith has done very well. What we would now be looking for, guys, is, again, if the sellers were to sell down a little bit, on the FDAX, we may be looking at a longer range, sort of better structured reversal. Yeah, if we got a smaller candle here, guys, we'd be having a lot more fun with this reversal. But we can only play with what we get given. Suzanne, nice trade, well done. I've just got, dearie me. I've just got a message from Greg, guys, who has had a relatively big day on the S&P 500. So, guys, quite often people will send me a screenshot of their profit. So I've just been sent a screenshot of Greg's profit from tonight. It is fairly sizable. There is no question, guys. That short on the S&P we were talking about at the start of the day. All right, now we're waiting, guys, for the European team. We're waiting guys, for another valid trade. So we're waiting for another valid trade. Today, guys, if you're looking at today going, wow, Lockie, today is tough, I can guarantee you today has been tough. There is no doubt about that. Simply because we've got at the start, excuse me, at the start, we had beautiful agreement between the two European markets, guys. Then we had the sellers still the stair step on the FTX, whereas the FESX maintained buyers. So straight away, we had that market disconnect between the two. And then we've ended up with the markets being in disconnect for a little while. All right, now at this stage, guys, we're setting up, guys, beautiful momentum for a long on the FTX. Okay, so what's going to happen, guys, for the FTX traders? That little candle that's going to close here, guys, we've got reasonable volume. That little candle is a static bar reversal. Now, if I lost my data right across the board, so hold on one second. All right, no. So I've got FESX data. What's happened to my FTX? There we go. Okay. No, I've got it back. Okay. So how are we going to deal, guys? How are we going to deal with the FTX? All right, how we're going to deal with the FTX is we're going to be very, very careful. It's going to be very, very careful is how we're going to deal with the FTX. Now, what is probably going to happen? So note that the FTX is gapped down to the 50 fib of the micro trend. Here comes our lower low. Here comes our lower low. So what it means, what it does mean is we're just going to let these guys push. Just let them push. So everyone that got in, guys, with an ATM, you're looking at that going, oh, this is a good idea. I'm glad I've got an ATM. Guys, here's our micro trend. All right, S&P 500 is again plummeting. Now, the lower low, guys, does allow us to re-enter the static bar reversal that we originally traded. It does allow us to trade the static bar reversal at 196. It does allow us to put a buy order on at 196 with a 5-point first target and risk control point. All right, so if you are going to go long, guys, at 196, your first target and risk control point is 201. You've just gone through 201. Nice, you've just gone through 201. So, guys, we waited for the lower low. We waited for the Fibonacci failure. Well done, Giz. We then said, you know what? We're going to go long at 96. We're going to honor the ratio of this candle here, honor the seller failure. We're going to go long at 96 with the intent of going to 0.1. Now, Giz is already out of the trade. So, Giz, well done. Volatility is low. Right? Volatility is low. So please don't go for a massive target. I would go for an early first target and then a long range second target, please. Yeah, Giz, nice work, mate. Well done. Now, that said, guys, it looks like the FESX is trying to turn. The S&P 500 is trying very hard to sell down. And if it goes much lower, the S&P 500 is effectively going to drop below its previous pivot. Guys, if it goes much lower and something's really upset the S&P 500. Okay, really upset the S&P. All right, now at this stage, guys, we're now waiting. We're going to watch the last 90 seconds because we are probably going to get exactly the same trade again as on the next candle. We're probably going to get the same trade again. So S&P 500 is failing to sell below its previous pivot, but we won't know for sure until 1 minute and 1 second from now. So we won't know for sure. Okay, so 36 seconds to go. Again, guys, as I said before, today's been really difficult compared to yesterday, compared to Tuesday. Today's been really difficult to trade. We normally get one of these days per week, right? So don't lose sight of the beautiful thing called trading. Tomorrow is probably going to be absolutely amazing. Mate, the market is struggling to tell us what it's doing. There is no question about that at all. Okay, it's really struggling. Now, that said, guys, we've got 3 minutes. Sorry, 3 minutes. Wrong. 3 seconds. If the sellers sell down again, guys, if the sellers were to sell down again, then we're reloading exactly the same reversal long at 96. Guys, at 196. So if these sellers do sell down, guys, and you see the buyers pop in and go, ha, gotcha, then again, sellers still own the stair step. We are still looking for buying base reversals, right? Still looking for buying base reversals. At this stage, we have the original SBR setting up at 196. Guys, it's an entry of 196 with a first target and risk control point, guys, of 201. Okay, so I'm just watching very closely. There's 200. Come on, sweetheart. Do what you did last time, please. No. That was a very, very heavy rejection. Right, so again, I'll just watch the FESX for guidance on this one. If you've gone long, guys, if you've gone long at 196 already, guys, it's gone from 196 through to 200. Okay, this is the second buying campaign. Guys, we want the second buying campaign to push you through your target, please. So that is a 50 fib retracement off that turning bar there. So again, we're back to entry. We need the buyers, guys. We need the buyers to turn the candle green and then push through your 5-point target. Okay, so again, we've had one sell down, then the buyers took over. Second sell down, the buyers hit them very hard. I just want to see some follow through. Now, how we're going to play this one, guys, your entry point is here at 196. That's your entry point. If we get another buying push, then they start pushing up to the 2 or 3 point mark and they don't bolt, then we're going to bring our stops through. So this is the third buying campaign. FESX is very strong buying wise. So FESX is very strong. Here comes the third buying campaign. So they must pay you on this push. So if you want to be kept, boom. Oh, dearie me. A nail biter. Okay, if you are long, guys, if you are long at 196, your target is 201. They've gone as high as 202. All right, as high as 202. Long story short, guys, if the volume starts dropping, we are going to pull back on the FDAX and come back tomorrow. If you are long, guys, if you are long and you can hold for about 90 seconds, this long is going to prove to be a really lovely trade. Right? So if you are still long on the entry at 196, I want you to try and hold the long with no risk as up to the lower OSR. All right, but please hold no risk. Yeah, hold. I do think these guys, if the FESX gets back inside the lower OSR, bottom left-hand corner here, if the FESX gets back inside the lower OSR, guys, the FDAX is going to go a mile to the high side. All right, we finally have agreement in the FESX and the FDAX. So if you are long, guys, at 196 and you didn't get taken out by your trailing stop, you're going to try and hold this. goes to at least the close of this candle, understanding you've got no risk. If the FESX gets back inside its lower OSR, the FDAX will go further. If it doesn't get back inside the lower OSR, then we are probably not going to see the FDAX buy. If they both get back inside the lower OSR, as for the FDAX, that will be for the FDAX, that will be an ABC reversal long. It must be an efficient CORPC bar. What have we got? We've got an efficient CORPC bar underneath the OSR, and the FESX is on top. So if I was long at this point in time, guys, I would make sure I have absolutely no money at risk. Andy, yeah, +2. Not very sexy, mate. Not very sexy. Please make sure you've got no risk. So today has been tough, guys. I'm expecting a far more fluid, far more fun day tomorrow. There is no doubt at all. Now, with all that said, what have we done? We took a ratio-based SBR long. We waited for the sellers to sell down, reloaded the long, so we took it again. Suzanne +2. Yeah, not very sexy, but today is not an easy day to trade. There's no question about that at all. Not an easy day. And again, guys, if the sellers do take over on the FDAX now, I would suggest, guys, the post-Euro lunch move, so the later trading session today, guys, the king of reversals is going to be off the S1. These guys are getting ready to absolutely tank. Absolutely tank. Oops. Now, just watching very closely. Guys, again, I'm glad, guys, if we've gone long, this is why we use ATMs. So some days your ATMs are your worst enemy. Other days are absolutely amazing. We use an ATM, so we go to early first target, cut the risk off. Yeah, I think, mate, what we've got here, guys, on the 15-minute chart, particularly FDAX, we're actually setting up a 15-minute swing trigger short. The S&P 500 is well below its pre-pivot now. So I'd suggest there's a bit of a correction coming as on the index markets. What it also means for us is I don't think we're going to get another trade. So I don't think we're going to get another trade because we don't have Fibonacci agreement from the FESX. These guys are at completely different levels, and we're not going to reverse the FESX. We're not going to reverse the DAX with the FESX in disagreement with what we're doing. Excuse me. So, guys, at this stage, 1 minute and 45, I don't think we're going to get another trade. Guys, if you are, so we won't get another trade in the session. If you are going to, guys, continue to trade, if you get a strong selling candle down here on the FESX and a strong candle on the FDAX, they are likely, both of them, that's a two-phase complex, that's a three-phase complex retracement, two-phase complex. These guys are likely to push for their S1. So I'd suggest that's, if you're going to be trading, guys, after the European lunch today, as an S1 reversal might be enough to turn these guys around and send them all the way back the other way. Maybe enough. Now, guys, any questions at all? I am only slightly positive today, guys, only slightly positive. Mind you, I followed my plan, guys, and my ATM triggered and took me out. So I'm happy with that. I made a mistake on the bias switch. As I should have said, it's got to close outside the range of the previous candle. So, guys, we had a losing trade there, but it's actually my mistake, not the algorithm's mistake. If you trade bias switches, and then since then we've navigated fairly carefully. And again, I think we've done relatively well under the circumstances. There is no doubt. Breezy's short trade, guys. So Craig's short trade was really lovely. This was really lovely. I would have been in exactly the same trade as if the sellers hadn't stolen the stair step. So Breezy, guys, that Breezy got a huge FDAX trade. So, mate, well done to you. Well done to you. Guys, any questions at all about anything that we've done? These guys are going to sell. Guys, there's no question about that. We are going to sell down here. So again, I'm not going to call any more trades, guys, only because we're right on the edge of that 90-minute window. I do believe they're going to sell down, and I do believe for the guys to trade a little bit later, and S1 reverse will probably go down. Absolutely. But guys, I'm expecting Christian to come back on and say g'day from CCP.
Christian is right here. Lachlan, how are you doing? How was your trading day?
Mate, today I've got about 700 US in the bank. We picked up two really simple trades. Then I miscalled a trade, which was my fault. And then we've picked up maybe one or two tiny little trades down the bottom, but the market is very difficult to trade today. So a lot of people picked up the first couple of trades and left. Then we had a loss, depending on if you trade a particular signal called a bias switch. But I actually miscalled the trade, so that's my fault. And we think the markets are getting ready to melt down. That's what I think is going to happen.
It can happen, Lachlan. Even after so many years of experience, we're still human, right? Nothing changes. We don't convert to robots, and we still have such moments. Anyway, I'm so happy to hear that you still got some wins in such a hard market. And as usual, Lachlan, thank you very much for guiding everyone on this stream, showing everything, how it really is, showing the losses, showing the wins. It's very important. And from my side, just one last reminder for everyone, we're having a Valentine's campaign. For all of you, you can use code CHARTLOVER for minus 20% discount on all accounts, CFDs, futures and stocks. And it's valid till this Sunday. And we're gonna call it. Lachlan, thanks again for conducting the live stream as usual. And we wish everyone a wonderful rest of the day.
Sounds great. Thank you.